Hello everybody and happy Friday. How are you? I'm tired. I'm just really tired. I've had horrific allergies all week and I have felt ill, and I know this is the worst time of year. It'll be over in a week or two, but I'm just feeling miserable and sorry for myself. I'm trying to dig myself out of that hole. But that's why I haven't really been on BookTube this past week. I did not feel like filming anything, and I'm kind of forcing myself to sit down and film something today to kind of get back in the groove with something easy, because it's easy to talk about reading plans. So let's talk about that, kind of Friday reads, but mainly like my plans for books for the rest of May. You might be able to tell that May has not been an extremely productive reading month for me. I'm definitely reading more slowly than I usually do, which is still quite a bit compared to like the average, I suppose, but May has just been a bit of an odd month, other than the fact that I haven't felt super well because of allergies. I've had a lot of other obligations, and there's been, you know, the normal stress and anxiety from all these other things going on. And I don't read very well when I'm anxious or when I have other things, you know, on my mind. So May has been not very productive reading wise, but all that stuff is sort of over, and here in the last week or so of May, I feel like I'm gonna get my reading back on, and there are 2 readathons happening conveniently at the right time, and so I thought I would talk about those because I think I'm going to participate in both of them to kind of jumpstart my reading again. So in May, I'm back using the library, but in June I'm gonna ixnay on the library again to focus on reading my physical TBR books that I own, basically. So I have a bunch of library checkouts that I want to get through before the end of the month, because if I don't finish reading something from the library, I have to take it back unfinished. That's the rule I've made for myself. I have to just go cold turkey. Otherwise I will find ways to sneak library books in. But I discovered that the BorrowAthon is happening in the last like week of May. I think it starts on Sunday the 20th and runs for 7 or 8 days. And I've never participated in BorrowAthon before. I think this is round 4, and I've seen people's TBRs popping up here recently, and I thought, you know what? A readathon that's dedicated to reading borrowed books, borrowed from other people or borrowed from the library, that is exactly what I need right now. So I thought I would just show you what I have checked out from the library that's gonna be my TBR. Any of these, hopefully all of these, will be read during the readathon. So things that I have started first, let me sort my books here because I did not prepare before. First up is Murder is Bad Manners by Robin Stevens. This is the first book in a middle grade historical mystery series, and I learned about this series from Claire Rousseau, but under like the UK title. Outside of the US, this is known as Murder Most Unladylike. For some reason they renamed all the books and the series in the US, but this is the first book. And I suggested this for a group read recently, and I think there's gonna be a bookish chat about it soon with my friends, so I should probably finish reading the book. I think I read like two chapters, yeah. It'll be really quick to read because it is middle grade. It's got a big font inside, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it takes place in the 1920s. The 2 main characters are girls at an English boarding school, and I do like boarding school stories. The next one is, yeah, Space Opera by Catherine Valenti. I got this from the library and started reading it on the day of Eurovision. I only got a little ways into it, but I think this is gonna be a lot of style over substance. Like, what I've heard from people who've read this so far is that there's not that much plot, but it's still a lot of fun and it's written in a really great way. And I'm really in the mood for that. I completely trust Valenti to deliver on humor and style. I don't think there really needs to be a plot if it's inspired by Eurovision. And then I need to start reading The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the last book that I need to read from the BookTube SFF Awards shortlist. It's nominated in the debut category, and I've read everything else in the categories that I'm going to be judging, so this is just the last one, and I can read extra things in June before the final voting and everything, but I feel I have a deadline on this one. And I have heard a lot of reviews of this so far because people have been reading it, of course, for before voting, and people seem to really like it. Like, it's not perfect, but people really like the world building and the influences and stuff, and I suspect I will also really enjoy it for those aspects as well. And then some other things that I've checked out from the library. From Overdrive, I have O Jerusalem by Laurie R. King, which is the I think it's the 5th book in the Russell and Holmes mystery series, and I always enjoy those. They're always written in a way that I really love. And then this month I've started reading the Moomin family books by Tove Jansson. Maya over at Maya Reads has been talking about them regularly. I think she's been rereading them over the past couple of years, and every time she mentions one, I think I should try reading those. Because I'm pretty sure that I read some of the Moomin books when I was a kid, but didn't really click with them. Like, I remember knowing what a Moomin was, but don't remember like reading all of them, and I was a really obsessive reader when I was a kid. If I latched onto something, I would find everything the library had by that author. So I don't think I did that with Jansson's work, but earlier in this month I read the first 2 Moomin family books, and now I have 3 and 4 checked out from the library. Moomin Papa's Memoirs and Moomin Summer Madness. I really enjoyed the first 2. They were definitely delightful stories for younger readers, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to blaze my way through these next 2 pretty quickly. Then I have Ice by Anna Cavan. This one I grabbed from the library because it's like one of those Penguin lines, but it was shelved in science fiction. I was like, you don't usually see crossover between Penguin classics and science fiction, so I have no idea what it's about. I should probably like read the back of it or something. I don't really want to though. Another impulse pickup is The Strange Bird by Jeff Vandermeer. This says it's a Bourne story, so I think this is maybe a longer short story or a very short novella set in the world of Bourne. And I really liked Bourne. It wasn't like my favorite thing ever by Vandermeer. I definitely liked Annihilation a lot better, but I enjoyed Bourne and I thought I would give this a shot too. And then the very last thing I have checked out from the library right now is Semiosis by Sue Burke, which is one of my anticipated books of the year. This is the one book that I valiantly did not buy 2 or 3 times when I was on vacation in April because I kept seeing it in bookstores, but I knew I was first in line for the library copy, so I didn't buy it. And I have it now, and I'm excited, but also it's turning into one of those books that I'm so excited for that I'm kind of putting it off, like I'm nervous to start reading it. Why does that happen to me? And then outside of stuff for BorrowAthon, I'm currently reading 2 things that I want to finish up pretty soon. The first one is A Raven Stratagem by Yoon-Ha Lee. Technically, I'm hosting the read-along for this for the BookTube SFF Awards because it's nominated in the science fiction category. It's a reread for me, and I should probably go like share my thoughts in the Goodreads thread now since I've started reading it. And then I've had this sitting on my currently reading shelf for a while. It is Unlundone by China Miéville, which is, well, I thought it was young adult fantasy, but I'm kind of evaluating that down a bit. I would almost classify it as middle grade in some ways, and I really like it. I really like the concept in this. I'm a little bit thrown by the writing style. It's a bit choppier, shorter sentences, very short chapters, because, you know, it's written for a younger audience than Miéville's other books that I've read. So stylistically, I feel it's a little jarring, but the ideas in it and just the story overall, these 2 friends who end up in a version of London, but it's made out of like all the trash and leftovers from London, and there's a sad little milk carton following them around like a little puppy. I'm really liking it. I've just had it kind of pushed aside while I was working on other things. So that's kind of my library checkouts and what I'm currently reading that I happen to own that I'll be getting through in the next week or so, mainly focusing on BorrowAthon. I'm not planning on doing any of the challenges for BorrowAthon. I'm just going to use it to remind myself to keep reading my library books. And then next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, is going to be Libby's Tour-a-thon, which is a little readathon dedicated to reading Tor.com's short fiction, and I'm all about that. I have a bunch of the novellas lined up. I have the last 2 novellas in the Scene du Jour series by Matt Wallace, Gluttony Bay and Taste of Wrath. I have those sitting on my Kindle. I have Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire and Stone Mad by Elizabeth Bear in physical copy somewhere around here. And I also have an arc of the 3rd Murderbot novella, Rogue Protocol, sitting in my inbox, and I think I will start that as well. And then there are all of these short stories and stuff that are available for free online, and I would like to sample some of those as well. So it would be a lot of reading, but short stuff. And that's pretty much it. I should probably not get any more ambitious than that with my reading in May, given how the rest of the month has gone so far, but I'm feeling excited about it, you know. So that is it for me, and I'm going to stay inside now, out of the heat and away from all of the pollen and the grass and the trees and just all that awful stuff, and take some more Benadryl. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you again soon. And until then, bye.